Happy Saturday, everybody. I'm KHOU 11 Meteorologist Pat Cavlin here with you on KHOU 11 Plus, where we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive on what happened today with all of the tornadoes and the storms across the area and how the weather is shaping up getting into New Year's Eve and into the start of 2025. Storm cleanup is the #1 headline. That is what a lot of folks are going to be doing, not just from today's storms, but from the storms that we've seen over the past week. First with Christmas Eve, then the day after Christmas, and now today. It's like every other day we've had tornadoes and severe thunderstorms across the area. So a lot of cleanup underway. The good news is that the weather will finally cooperate. We've got a great quiet stretch of weather here getting through the rest of the weekend into the start of the upcoming week. We'll see warm temperatures and a lot of sunshine at least through Tuesday, and then things do turn cooler getting into Tuesday and Wednesday. So for the middle of the week, temperatures get back to really where we should be for this time of year. But that will come with no rain at all. So even though we have another cold front on the way, we're not expecting storms or rain here for the middle of the week. Check out the tornado reports, though, across the area today. These are just reports of tornadoes, 9 in total. We'll go around the map and show you what we saw. We started this morning in like the Brookshire area up towards Katy, where we had damage to a mobile home park. We also had some damage to some brick buildings and roof damage. We had a car flipped over. Amazingly, no injuries, though, reported in this area. That tornado then lifted to the north through Cypress, where it lifted then after Cypress. That storm moved through the woodlands in spring. No damage reported here. And then another tornado touched down here. This was in the Porter Heights area going up towards Splendora. This is where we saw widespread significant damage. So mobile homes destroyed, brick homes sustained significant damage to the roofs. One of the fire stations up here in East Montgomery County sustained damage, and there was just debris scattered everywhere. So that was the second tornado of the day. This was in eastern Montgomery County and possibly even into Liberty County as well. Then our attention turned down south. A tornado developed around the Alvin and Liverpool area, went right through the Hillcrest neighborhood. This is where we saw multiple homes destroyed. This was between Alvin and Liverpool. The Brazoria County Sheriff said that there was one fatality potentially attributed to these storms, and this debris was scattered all along parts of State Highway 35. From there, that tornado passed through Dickinson, where there was more damage reported. Then it continued out towards Bay Cliff, and then after that, it actually kept going across Galveston Bay. Very unusual for a tornado to maintain itself over such a long stretch of water. So it made landfall again here, this time in Chambers County between Anahuac and Smith Point. This is where a car was thrown, and there were actually some injuries reported. From there, the tornado went along White's Ranch Road and went into the Seabreeze area before continuing out towards Jefferson County, where it did more damage and caused more injuries. So it was a prolific day in terms of tornadoes for us here in Southeast Texas. Now, like I said, it's been a very busy week. Just since Christmas Eve alone, there have been 18 tornado warnings right here in Southeast Texas. I mean, typically we see this maybe once, every few months or every few weeks during our severe weather season, but not once every 2 days. So just an incredible situation here. These were the warnings from today. This was from earlier in the week. This was also from today. So it's a lot of activity here across Southeast Texas. The good news, though, our storms are now to the east. So we're starting to dry things out. Fog will start to form, though, for some areas as we get into tomorrow morning. I think we'll start Sunday with fog and some clouds. Not for everyone, but it will be out there. Sunshine, though, makes its return as we get into the second half of the day. And then high pressure comes in. Monday is gorgeous. Tons of sunshine, very warm, though, upper 70s to around 80 degrees. I don't think the humidity will be quite as high as it was today. And look at the rain chances. Nothing. Goose eggs all the way across the board. Again, great recovery weather, great cleanup weather. We get to kind of put everything back together as we look ahead over the upcoming week. There are big changes ahead, though, in terms of temperature. As we look ahead towards Wednesday, which is New Year's Day, we've got a front that goes through. This will come through Tuesday, New Year's Eve, and that will leave us with much cooler weather getting into New Year's Day. The good news, though, again, it's a dry front. So no rain and, more importantly, no storms expected with this. So no more severe weather on the horizon for the upcoming week. So your New Year's Eve forecast looks like this. At midnight, it's clear, it's chilly, a little breezy at times. Your midnight temperature down to around 50 degrees, though. So it's going to be brisk. Definitely jacket weather, especially for the ladies if you're going to be out and about if you can. Jacket, not a bad idea over that nice dress you're going to be wearing. as you're ringing in the new year. Now, as we look ahead into the new year, the first week of 2025 shapes up like this. East half of the U.S. stays below normal temperature-wise. Western half likely to be above normal. And then we kind of split the difference here. So we'll go back and forth between above and below normal temperatures, but no real extremes one way or the other. Although for the next few days, we do go below normal behind this first front. So we'll do 78 for Monday. Temperatures stay at or below normal then Tuesday all the way through Friday. And then back to the 70s Saturday and Sunday before we turn cooler getting into the following week. Now watch what happens here with this next outlook. So I just showed you the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. This is the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. And look at how dark this shading of blue gets here on the East Coast. And now it starts to nudge into East Texas. So I think as we get into the second weekend of January, that's when below normal temperatures look a little more likely, at least for the eastern half to eastern 2/3 of the U.S. That warmer weather starts to get squeezed more here along the West Coast. This is going to be, I think, the next big weather story that we deal with here in Southeast Texas. There are a lot of indications, and you're going to start to see a lot of buzz about this on social media. There are starting to be indications of a big Arctic air mass that will come in from Canada and just park itself over the eastern half of the U.S. for a good part of January, and that does include us here in Southeast Texas. So watch the clock there, top right-hand side of the screen. All of a sudden, this big blast of cold air comes in, and it just takes over. I mean, look at this. The whole state of Texas, and I would say 80-90% of the U.S. will be under the thumb of some really cold air. And notice, this only goes out to January 7th. So beyond that, you've got this big core of Arctic air that's got to still come down south. So we got to see how cold things get here, but I would start looking ahead to your cold weather preps as we get into the start of 2025. Make sure you get those damages to your homes repaired before then, because I think some big changes are on the way into 2025. For tonight though, 53 Copperfield, 55 in the Heights, same for Gulf Crest, 54 for Dyersdale, 53 Aldine, 55 for Jacinto City, 50 in Tomball though. Upper 40s out towards Columbus, around 50 for Huntsville, Conroe, Bay City, 52 in the city, 57 for Galveston. Tomorrow, upper 60s, low 70s from Copperfield to the Heights, Edo, Dyersdale, East Houston, upper 60s, low 70s, 71 for Tomball, Jersey Village. I think upper 60s out towards Galveston Bay. We may get up to 74 in Houston. Otherwise, though, again, upper 60s to low 70s with morning clouds giving way to afternoon sunshine. There's your 7-day forecast. We'll do 78 then for Monday with tons of sunshine. Beautiful day then for New Year's Eve. Temperatures turning cooler. 64 for your high. Down to 44 then New Year's Eve night into New Year's Day morning. And then we stair-step our way back to the mid-60s by Friday with temperatures near 70 as we get into the start of next weekend.